is a guy who spent nearly 3 decades in Washington. And after spending the entire campaign saying I haven't been in Washington long enough, he apparently now is willing to assign me responsibility for all of Washington's failures. I think it's pretty clear. That Senator McCain is a little panicked right now. At this point, he seems to be willing to say anything or do anything or change any position or violate any principle to try and win this election. And I've got to say, it's kind of sad to see. That's not the politics we need. It's also been disappointing to watch my opponent's reaction to this economic crisis. His first reaction on Monday was to stand up and repeat the line he said over and over again throughout this campaign, quote, "The fundamentals of the economy are strong." The comment was so out of touch that even George Bush's White House couldn't agree with it. Then on Tuesday, he said government should stand by and let one of the nation's largest insurers collapse, putting the well-being of millions of Americans potentially at risk. Then by Wednesday, he had changed his mind. He said he would take on the old boys network, he said. But he seemed to forget that he took 7 of the biggest old boys in Washington, lobbyists from Washington, from that network and put them in charge of his campaign. And then let's not forget that his first answer to our economic crisis was, get ready for this, a commission. That's Washington speak for, quote, "We'll get back to you later." People, we don't need a commission. We don't need a commission to spend a few years and a lot of taxpayer money to tell us what's going on in our economy. We don't need a commission to tell you what you've been seeing in your neighborhoods, in your communities, that you're losing your jobs and paying through the roof at the pump, that you're losing your homes. We don't need a commission to study the crisis. We need a president who will solve it, and that's the kind of president I intend to be. Now, our government and the Federal Reserve have already taken unprecedented action to prevent a deepening of the crisis that could jeopardize the life savings and well-beings of millions of Americans. But it's now clear that even bolder and more decisive action is necessary. In recent years, I've outlined plans that would have helped prevent the problems we face now. And yesterday, I proposed the outline of a plan that would establish a more stable and permanent solution to strengthen our financial system. Today, I support the effort of Secretary Paulson and Federal Reserve Chairman Bernanke to work in a bipartisan spirit with members of Congress to find a solution in the coming days. And I'll closely examine the emerging details of their proposal. And as I do, I'll be making sure it includes some basic principles that I and my economic advisors discussed this morning. I'll make sure that we don't just have a plan for Wall Street. We need a plan for Main Street. I'll be asking Senator McCain and President Bush, Republicans and Democrats, to join me in supporting an emergency economic plan for working families. A plan that would help folks cope with rising gas and food prices and spark job creation through repair of our schools and our roads and our bridges, and help states avoid painful budget cuts and tax increases, and help homeowners stay in their house and provide retooling assistance for the American auto industry. That's the kind of help that folks need right now, and we should be acting and not just talking. I also want to be sure that we're not rewarding particular companies or irresponsible borrowers or lenders or CEOs, some of whom helped cause this mess in the first place. You know, it's unacceptable when they walk away with multi-million-dollar golden parachutes while taxpayers are left holding the bag. We're not going to stand for that. These serious times call for serious solutions. That's what I'm offering. But we know that every day from now until Election Day, our opponents will try to distract us with lies and distractions. They want to talk about Paris and Brittany and lipstick and pigs and all kinds of silliness. That's what you do when you're out of touch, when you're out of ideas, and out of line with the values people live by every day. You make a big election about small things because you've got nothing else to offer. But I don't know about you, I think we've had enough. We've had enough of the same failed trickle-down on-your-own economic philosophy that's gotten us into this mess. Enough of the same policies that mean women aren't paid what they deserve and have to choose between their kids and their careers. Enough of the same politicians in Washington who think government should poke its nose into our private family business. Politicians who make all sorts of noises about family values, but when it comes time to do what people actually need to provide for their families and care for their families and spend time with their families, we hear nothing but silence from those same folks. That's not who we are. We're the country that has fought generation after generation to open the doors of opportunity for the many, not just the few. And we're not turning back now. It is time for change. Changes that make a real difference in your life. So let me tell you exactly what that change would mean if I am president. Change means finally closing that pay gap. Because it's unacceptable that women in this country are losing thousands of dollars each year, money that could be used for gas or groceries or college tuition. This is not just an economic issue. It's about our most fundamental values as a nation. That we treat people fairly. That we reward hard work. That there are no second-class citizens in our workplaces. That's why I helped pass a law in Illinois to give 330,000 more women protection from paycheck discrimination. That's why I co-sponsored legislation in the U.S. Senate to make it easier for women to challenge pay discrimination. And that's why I won't give up until women in this country are paid what they have earned and not a penny less. Change means a president who will stand up for choice, who understands that 5 men on the Supreme Court don't know better than women and their families and their doctors about what's best for their health. That's why I fought so hard in Illinois and in Washington to stop laws that would overturn Roe versus Wade. That's why I'm committed to appointing judges who understand how law operates in our daily lives, judges who will uphold the values at the core of our Constitution. That's why I will never back down from defending a woman's right to choose. Change means refusing to accept an America where staying home with a new baby is treated as an unpaid vacation.